Hi there, my name is Ashleigh McDonald. I am taking Heal 1100, and this is my personal disc analysis video. After completing the disc test, the letter that stuck with me the most was the letter S for steadiness. The personality style that I aligned closely with was perfectionist. Even though I've never taken a personality test like this before, I wasn't surprised by the results. The term perfectionist is something that I've been called many times before and in many different areas of my life. When it comes to work, I am certainly a perfectionist. Doing what I do, which is I'm a unit clerk at Vancouver General Hospital in BMT and leukemia, I don't have much room for error. All the orders I handle and process daily have to be done correctly at all times, otherwise, it could severely affect someone who is sick. But because of that trait, I work in an extremely well organized unit that runs really smoothly because of how I like everything in place and timed perfectly. Being so organized does help me keep a much more positive attitude while I'm at work as well, and I tend to reflect that upon everyone. At work, I can greatly rely on my steadiness in me, no matter how hectic the situation is. I am patient and work well with my team to make sure things get completed quickly but also correctly. Although it helps me achieve greatly at work, there are times that it can also give me a lot more of a headache. When organizing charts, making chart packs, putting supplies away, that is when being a perfectionist can be difficult. Everything needs to be lined up perfectly, and all the paper clips have to be lined up perfectly. That's certainly a time that being a perfectionist is the drawback at work. At home, being a perfectionist feels more like a burden sometimes than more than anything. It can be quite hard when I organize places like the kitchen or the living room in what I believe is the most reasonable and sensible way. But then when I come home to find that my hard work is gone, that can certainly be tough. I find it very frustrating because I find it hard to understand why it would be put in any other way, since the way I put it in the first time made sense. I know it's my own belief that the way I set things up is not the perfect way and not the only way. The frustration sometimes can make me lash out to others that I live with, but I try and stop the hot feelings when I can. Although the bad seems to outweigh the good at home, it can also work really well. Would certainly say that I'm a perfectionist when it comes to cooking, and I do often say to myself and to my partner that I would just like things to be perfect. But it does benefit us with a fantastic meal at the end of the day. One of the aspects that stands out to me the most when reading over the keywords for steadiness is the word loyal. I have always been extremely loyal and thought of myself as extremely loyal to the people in my life. It's just a facet of my life, and in both work and personal. And it was really gratifying to know that even the test like this could pick up on something like it. When looking at my results from the most divergent personality trait, that would be dominance. And I certainly agree with that. Work has always been a team-based area for me. So when we're working together, I'm much more quiet and modest. I try not to step on anyone's toes and try and stay out of it so the people involved can take control. Being so mild and patient also helps at work in situations when they are tense. When patients' families are frustrated, staying cool and calm can help them diffuse themselves and start calming down. It can also make me a lot more approachable for people who are new or unsure of the situation. I certainly think it is really important for me at work. The downside of not being dominant can be difficult for me to have my voice heard over a busy room full of doctors and nurses. Having to speak over everyone can lead to a lot of anxiety as well. In my personal life, I'm happy not being dominant. It greatly benefits me. When it comes to making plans with family and friends, I'm usually pretty easygoing and happy to do anything that makes everyone else happy. Like most couples, there's always one more dominant one, and that certainly is the same for my partner and I. I don't find much need to be dominant because that is their role. It can also hinder me though, because there are times that everyone ends up talking over me, and I just agree and go along with everything because I find it difficult to be loud that way. I know if I could be more assertive that I would have more of a voice with situations like that. Some of the ways that I could try to be more dominant in both work and my personal life would be for me to be more assertive and daring. Both aspects would help me make sure that I can get what I want or help someone else get what they want, and also help me try new things. I am comfortable with being passive and patient, but there isn't any chance for me to grow and expand my knowledge or experiences if I don't speak up or push the boundaries that I'm not used to pushing. Currently, I'm very indecisive. Sometimes that can be a good thing, but most of the time it can be quite a pain. So, when it comes to making decisions, if I was more decisive over whatever choices I was making, then it would save me a lot of time and it would help me aid in being more dominant, even if it was just myself at the beginning. After taking such a close look at this of myself with this video and the results from the personality test, I will certainly pay more attention to the actions that I live out. And with that, I conclude the video of my disc analysis. Thanks!